Shayna, how are you? Peace, 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 loves. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to All Things Mastery Live. I am your host and educator, Venus Scott. And y'all know what we do here while we learn all things mastery that's going to get you into position to create and attract and manifest what it is, who it is, whatever experience you want to experience. This is what we do here. So here at All Things Mastery, we get to the what in the house to position yourself in alignment to attract that what you want. And I do that by teaching you all the metaphysical, universal principles, all the things that is going to help you change your life beginning right now if you apply it. So welcome in my YouTube family, welcome in my TikTok family, of course. Welcome my T-Witch family, and of course my FB family. Welcome in. It is always an honor and a pleasure to come before you and to teach the things that we need to be taught in order to allow us to change the trajectory of our life. So when people hear self-mastery, what are we thinking about, right? So the epitome and the core, infinite gratitude, Big Chef. So at the epitome, mindful, how are you, my love? Welcome in. So at the core of self-mastery, in the simplest term, what it is to understand consciousness as you are consciousness and to embody higher states of consciousness, okay? Because when you embody higher states of consciousness, you not only remember who you are, you remember that you have the authority and the power to literally turn your thoughts into materialization. Okay, now these are just not cutesy terms. These are actual facts, indisputable facts that has been taught only to secret societies, right? To the masters of these mystic teachings, okay? And so it is nothing new. It's just we have access to this information as we always have access to it, right? Because all information that you ever need is within you. Infinite gratitude for the likes, okay? So I teach you. Hi, how are you, my love? Of course, I would join your fan base. Can you add me up? Of course, infinite gratitude. Yep. So what I do here in teaching you self-mastery, how to master yourself, how to master your spirit, how to master your soul, and how to elevate to higher states of consciousness. I teach you that in a way where you can do it more quickly, more efficiently, and more effectively without complications. How many of you know that elevating don't have to be complicated? Grief don't have to be complicated. You learning new things don't have to be complicated. Even though a lot of the methods and teachings that are used, it can get complicated, right? Because a lot of us don't understand a lot of things, and that's not to diminish your intelligence. It's just a lot of the things like learning about quantum physics and science and genetics and epigenetics and gene expression and quantum entanglement, even consciousness, even when it comes to energy and frequency. A lot of us haven't quite learned what all of those actually means in regard to who we are and us elevating. So I teach you these proven systems to assist you in your journey. And that is absolutely imperative. So whether you are entrepreneur, whether you want to become an entrepreneur, whether you want more financial stability and security in your life, whether you want to scale your business or create a business, whether you want to put yourself in alignment with a more consistent flow of money coming your way, whether or not you want to embody self-love, right? How many of you know that even though we say we love ourselves, right, that's not really true according to what divine pure love absolutely is, okay? So if you want to accelerate your healing, these understanding self-mastery and raising your level of consciousness is going to absolutely matter. So it doesn't matter what you want, whether it's money, whether it's wanting to heal, whether it's wanting to learn how to regulate your mind, your body, your spirit, learn how to regulate your emotions and your attitude. If you want to elevate, if you want more money, if you want to take more vacations, if you want to be able to provide not only for yourself but your loved ones, self-mastery is at the core of all of those things. There is nothing under the umbrella of self-mastery that doesn't require you to understand the principles and practices and the application of them that is going to get you your desired goals. So this is why we teach over here all things self-mastery. And for those of you who are just familiar with me, welcome. I am Venus. I've been teaching self-mastery for 15 plus years, mainly women. And I've been teaching them all of the things that I just discussed now and showing them how to elevate and accelerate their growth. So I teach them things like universal principles that govern your behavior. I teach you things about reconstructing your old identity, because how many of you know you cannot create a new reality with the same old identity? And a lot of times we hear terms like that, but we don't really truly understand the effects and the consequences to us not changing our identity. Right. So when it comes to us not reaching certain goals, when it comes to, hi sis, hi. I love when my big sis pop up. She called me baby doll. Every time I hear her say, she's the only one that called me baby doll, my big sister. I just love it whenever she say that. Me and my twin had a friendly argument. And because my sister called me baby. I said she was like, oh, she used to call me that. I said, no, she didn't. You lying right now. We're about to get that real straight right now. So I had to call my sister. I was like, did you ever call Peter baby doll? So welcome in, sis. Infinite gratitude. I hope all is amazing. So when you don't understand consciousness as you are consciousness, when you don't understand the levels of consciousness, when you don't understand things like quantum physics and how manifestation actually works outside of all of the hogwash and gibberish and the misconceptions and the rhetoric that we are hearing today, right? When you learn how to silence all of the external noise and start really learning from qualified individuals, and then start applying that so you can embody it, then and only then will your life change. There's no playing hopscotch around this. We spoke about this Monday. There's no hop skipping around the most invaluable steps that you need, no matter what it is, right? And if you're in your right mind, I know you want more of whatever you want more of, and that's okay. But the only way you're going to move from what you want and actually having what you want is understanding the core principles that I teach. However, this rising, we're going to be going over from thinking to creating. We're going to be talking about your addictions. Okay. Kel, how are you? I love to join your stream whenever you're streaming. Ashe, infinite gratitude, Kel. Infinite gratitude. Okay. So what do I mean? Your addictions, right? Today is no difference. We're going to be we're going to be learning about addictions, how to break unhealthy addictions. But first you have to recognize that many of us have unhealthy addictions. I know we don't like hearing that, right? And you'll be surprised that addictions do not only mean that you are addicted to a narcotic, that you are addicted to alcohol, which is alcohol, which are certain spirits. Okay, that's a little bit deeper. Queen Lee, how are you, my love? Infinite gratitude. Pardon me. So we're going to be talking about addictions, okay? How many of you know that you have unhealthy addictions? And while you're answering in the comment section, let me just remind you all that I'm an educator. I'm not an entertainer. I'm an educator, okay? And a lot of things you're going to hear from me is going to be repetitive, okay? Because repetition builds retention. And whenever you are building retention, it is programming your neurological system and your nervous system to embody not only your new identity, new mental framework, so you can actually position yourself energetically and vibratorily to attract the things that you want. Why? Okay, so that is incredibly important. All right, so again, welcome in. It is my pleasure and honor, right, to build these healthy relationships with you, to forge these healthy relationships with you. It is always my pleasure. So let's take a moment to give gratitude. I have 5. It's good you know it. It's good you know it. Yes, Queen Lee, me. Yes, I had to realize it. Okay, and it's not that all addictions are absolutely to the extreme of what's causing a lot of our grief, what's causing a lot of our suffering, right? Because addictions are not bad or good per se. What makes them healthy or unhealthy is what they're doing to you, what they're doing to your family, what they're doing to the life that you want to create. So first and foremost, infinite gratitude, Lil UP, welcome in. So blissful rise. So y'all listen, y'all in for it. Is listen. I want y'all to become connoisseurs of information. Not just that, I want y'all to become connoisseurs of mastery. Okay? Because when we talk about living the life that we want, this is what I mean. So let's give honor, okay? Let's give honor. We always do this before we enter into any realm. Ashe. Infinite gratitude to the infinite source of creation. Infinite gratitude to the source of life. Infinite gratitude to us because we are the creator and creation. We are the co-creators of our reality. Infinite gratitude to nature. Infinite gratitude to all living things and beings that is operating in purity. Infinite gratitude for the sun continuing to shine and give us and help sustain our life. Infinite gratitude to the water that not only resides within us but around us. Infinite gratitude for every cell that is in our body, for every muscle, for every fiber, for every matter in our bodies. Infinite gratitude for our heart, infinite gratitude for our health, infinite gratitude to our ancestors who constantly guide us, nurture us, and protect us and protect us and nudge us in the right direction. Ashe, Ashe. Okay. So what do we do here? All things mastery. Okay. Here I teach you the core interplays between who you are and who you're becoming. I teach you the core interplays and the formulas to get from point A to point B, because many of us already know what we want. That's not the issue. We already know what we want. So we know the point A, we know the point B, pardon me. We know the destination. We have the destination is more money. The destination is more peace. The destination is more emotional regulation. The destination is more sovereignty. The destination is more elevation. The destination is more traveling. The destination is more servitude on for others, unto others. The destination is a new car or a new home or whatever it may be. So we know the destination. The issue comes in the two things, the elements prior to that, which is where we are in the process of getting from where we are to get into where we want to be. So when I say core interplays from point A to point B, from who we are and who we becoming, these are the imperative steps that you absolutely need in order for you to create the life that you want. And I don't know about you, but I don't know anyone in their right mind that don't want something. So again, remember that this is we engage over here. Put in the comment section something that you want. Do not be modest. Don't worry about what other people will have to say or think, not even your lower self. Put something in the comment section. Why? Because the power of spoken word feeds life into that thing. The power of you writing things down, whether it is pen to paper or typing it in a comment section, feeds that. It nourishes that. So put in the comment section something that you want or a few things that you want. If you want anything, I know for me, I want to continue to travel Asia. I know for me, I want to continually position myself to be in the flow of consistent income, right? Which I already am in. However, you don't keep what you don't cultivate. So not only do you have to get in the flow of love, get into the flow of wealth, get into the flow of abundance of people, place, and things that you want to experience, get into the flow of security. Not only do you have to get into the flow of elevation, more conscious awareness, right? You have to also be willing to cultivate that flow. Okay, so no matter what it is you want, to hear children, to travel, to financial wealth, to give back. Ashe, self-mastery, bigger income, homestead. Ashe, consistent high-paying income without slaving. That, baby girl, that's the key word, without slaving. Okay? Financial stability, my sister says, right? We want in those things you can absolutely have. Why? Because they already exist. And many of us know it already exists. Self-mastery for sure. That's the only way. So the more you feed something or someone, the more it grows. Remember the concept that I teach you. What you feed gains power, and what you starve loses its power. So you don't have to continually re-traumatize yourself in order to feed that which you want to grow. And right now, what you want to grow, what we're saying we want to grow, is the money flow into our lives. We want more love flowing into our lives. We want to be able to bless other people, to be in service to other people. Okay, we want more mastery in our lives. All of those things across the board. So I teach you the core interplays on from how to get from where you are to where you want to be. I do it all the time. There are people who are around you that do it all the time. Shayna, welcome in, right? So we want to correct. We don't want the majority of people still in the category of these experiencing these 5 top pain points. What are those pain points a lot of you mentioned right now? Financial insecurity, not feeling purposeful or not being fulfilled, right? Not having emotional and mental peace, not having the fullness of love to give or to receive, not having pure, divine, healthy, happy connections with people, right? Not feeling like we belong to, connected to not only the source of life, but other beautiful beings, right? Not being our healthy selves, right? These are the 5 main points, pain points that a lot of us are experiencing. And if you don't do anything about it, you're going to continue to self-destruct. And that's not something that is just my opinion. That's not something that's my opinion. That's something that is a fact. Because as living organisms, how many of you know basic biology? As living organisms need to grow, they need to expand, they need to elevate, right? They need to pass on. And if the living organism isn't doing that, it is going to self-destruct. It is going to lose its essence, right? So we all know what happens when we have low blood count, right? The cells, the red blood cells in your body, that's an indicator that they're getting weaker. So we already know the root causes. Well, many of us know the root causes of these things. We're talking about breaking emotional addictions, right? So the root causes of these is what? Dealing with money, is lack of financial education. Okay? We want more money, but a lot of us aren't willing to actually sit down for 10 minutes and create a budget. And then learn the practices on how to rewire your nervous system and your mental database so you can make an actual blueprint and a formula to follow that's going to give you the results that you need, right? Siri, how are you, my love? Is this Siri? Let me put on my and put on my assistants real quick. If I pronounce your name wrong, please forgive me. Okay, so a lot of us are doing, Sierra, how are you, my love? Ashe, right? So we have to understand these important things. So what I wanted to go through this evening is, this rising this evening for me, is talking about unhealthy addictions that a lot of us unknowingly have, okay? And whenever you are addicted to someone or something, that gets you further and further away from what you want. So if we're saying we want more money, right? And then we're not getting those results, there are a few things that is happening. And one of those things at the top of that list is your beliefs and your association with money. So you are addicted to the old ideologies and the old programs that you have accepted about money, because how you associate with something is how you're going to continually experience that. I'll give you an example. Okay, before I used to, this is young teenager to, a young adult. Okay. In the, I'll say, let me say, when did I start working? Let's say anywhere between the age of 19 to like 20. Okay, let's do those years. Okay, that time frame. I used to wonder why I wasn't making the amount of money that I said I wanted to make. I used to wonder why every time I get money, every time money comes to me, I'm broke again. I used to wonder why I had to wait until income tax time and for me to get a fresh start. I kept wondering why my money was playing ping pong with me in a game that I didn't sign up to play. So when you start to question everything, when you start to question what is money, when you start to go deeper, you'll realize that the way you associate with something is the way you're going to experience it. And unbeknownst to me, at the time, I didn't understand that I had an unhealthy relationship with money. Why? Because even though my mother did the very best she could, even though my guardian did the very best she could, she was struggling a lot through our life. So we were in poverty. We lived in poverty. We lived in the projects. We had all of the programs. We attached to all of the food stamps and assistance programs and all of the free food programs. We endured all of that, right? And so even though she gave us everything, there's no gripes, there's no regrets, there's no not having gratitude about it. God is, how are you, right? So because I've never seen anyone in my family have consistent money flow, which means they always have more than enough, not only for themselves, but for other people, I I I grew to connect to an unhealthy association with money. So in the depths of my unconscious, I didn't think I deserved money. Why? Because we never had it. I thought I had to struggle for money and hustle real hard, having 3, 4 jobs and doing God knows what to obtain money. I had the conception and the program and the association with scarcity dealing with money. So a lot of us, and so over time, that became an addiction. Over time, I was addicted to the relationship I had with money, which was that of lack. And that happens with everything. So if you're still operating, and I can tell this is why we're going over this, breaking unhealthy addictions. This is why we're going over this. Because if you're not experiencing the life that you want, if you're still having, if you're I'll say it like this. If you're still having money issues, if you still don't have enough for yourself or for others, then you have an unhealthy addiction to scarcity when it comes to money. Your relationship with money is skewed. Okay. Not only that, we don't understand what money actually is. And I actually have a master training called Energetic Cells and Magnetic Money. And even though it says energetic cells, it gives you the fundamental principles of what money actually is, what currency actually is, as it pertains to metaphysics, as it pertains to consciousness, as it pertains to, right, energy and frequency and vibration. So it continues. So I always had an unhealthy association with money. So in my life, that was all I would experience. It's the same thing with love. I had daddy issues, abandonment issues. I didn't know what it was like I haven't, when I was, now this is way back when, I didn't understand or even know what love is, first and foremost, let alone receiving the love from a boy, not knowing that it was really the love of my father that I was really seeking. Okay. So my self-worth was really low because I didn't understand it. My self-esteem was really low because I didn't understand it. And even though I masked it really well, even because I dressed real well, I looked real well, I always kept myself up. I was real big on adornment. I was real big into fashion. But how many of you know the earrings don't cover up those unhealthy addictions? The clothes don't cover up your unhealthy addictions, right? The joking that we do don't cover up your unhealthy addictions. And the more you stay addicted to people, places, and things, the more you stay addicted to unhealthy associations, the more you stay addicted to these things that you are unaware of, the bigger they come, the stronger they get. And so I needed to understand first and foremost why my money was funny. I needed to understand why my money was funny, okay? Because I was tired of hustling harder. I was tired of working harder and not smarter. I was tired of holding on to the concept that, oh, if you're not willing to lose sleep, you're not willing to have more money. If you're not willing to work 24/7, you don't really want the money as bad as you want to. No, it wasn't that I wasn't willing. It was that a lot of those things that people done told us wasn't making sense. I shouldn't have to slave to make $1. I shouldn't have to slave to pay my bills. I shouldn't have to work 4 and 5 jobs just to take care of my family. All of those things didn't make sense to me. Meanwhile, I've seen other people having more than enough money, not only for themselves, but to give other people. Now, I'm not talking about blessing people with little gifts. I'm talking about this is multimillionaire, multi-trillionaire mindsets, where you're in a place where you can just freely give money because you don't really have a need for it because you always have it. It's not separate from you because you have it. So when we understand that, a lot of us have unhealthy addictions that we need to break. This keeps you in those unhealthy loops and cycles and those lower states of conscious timelines, which we spoke about Monday. Okay, so if that makes sense, put a 1 in the comment section. So if you understand what I'm saying, put a 1 in the comment section, because I need you to understand this, because I want things to change for you. However, I'm not going to want it for you as bad as you need to want it for yourselves. Tell the truth. I see the ones, Big Chef. Okay, remember, this is how we grow. This is how we learn. This is how we elevate. This is how we get to the bag. As y'all say, this is how we get to the bag. This is how we get to the love. This is how we get to the relationships. It's the same concept. Queen Lee, Big Chef. I see it. I see it. I see it. Okay. I see it. I see it. One says, yeah. So we need to understand it. And first things first, if you don't understand something, I mean, truly understand it, how can you correct it? So we're talking about addictions. If you don't understand addictions, how are you going to understand the addictions that you have? And I can guarantee you have some. I have some. No one is excluded from these addictions. Okay. Now, even though there are degrees of addictions, I want to share with you the fundamentals of it so you can be more aware of it, so you can begin to change them, so you can begin to starve them and replace them with healthier behaviors, not a healthier addiction. I know some of y'all probably thought I was going to say a healthier one. No, we want to do away with unhealthy addictions, period. Okay. So why is understanding addictions, especially when it comes to emotional addiction, so important? Because when you are experiencing low vibrational, lower states of consciousness, which are unhealthy emotional addictions, it affects your decision making. How many of you know when you are experiencing disparity, when you're desperate for something, a lot of us are in a state of, oh my goodness, the anxiety state. That's an unhealthy emotional addiction. We're going to get into that. Experiencing anxiety, especially when the 15th of the month come around, because we know the first of the month is coming right after that. So we grow more anxious and we grow more anxious and we grow more frustrated, right? Especially with the decisions that we make, because we know why. All the bills is recycling back. So that throws your nervous system out of bounds. That throws your neurological system out of bounds, which keep you addicted to those unhealthy chemicals, i.e. emotional signatures that keep being released in your body. And that indirectly is feeding. Alvin, how are you, my love? Infinite gratitude. So when you are still going through these unknowingly, it doesn't matter, unhealthy emotional addictions, it affects your decision making. It affects the health, right? It affects your body on a biological cell and on a molecular scale. It affects your mind. It affects your consciousness. It affects your heart, right? And your heart is the primary source of what you're experiencing. So if you're not experiencing financial security, there's something that is going on in your heart space. If you're not experiencing deeper, profound connections with people, there is something going on in your heart space. If you're not experiencing more higher states of consciousness, which is more peace, more prosperity, more love, more bliss, more opportunities, all of those different things, there is something not right in your heart space. Why do I know that? Because when you understand that you are a bioelectromagnetic being, which means you are bio, you are electric, and you are also magnetic. Understand? The magnetism is your heart. Your heart is a literal gigantic magnet. Your heart actually is 1,000 times stronger than your brain, than your mind, than your supercomputer. Your heart actually has 100,000 more neural networks than what your brain actually has. How many of you knew that? Okay, your heart, the frequency of your heart is magnetic. So the reason you're addicted to these unhealthy emotions, which is a direct reflection to what you're experiencing, mainly lack in these areas, is directly tied to these addictions. So not understanding what emotional addictions is, so you can then change them, right? It affects your decision making, your body, your mind, your heart, your relationships, and your family. I need y'all to understand that. And you can't talk your way out of it. You can't wish your way out of it. You can't harmonize your way out of it. You cannot dance your way out of it. You cannot hope, pray, beg your way out of it. The only way out is in. The only way out is to understand. The only way out is to, after understanding, apply the principles and teachings that is going to correct it. Because if I can go from poverty to having enough to do what I need to do, you can too. Just like other people, you think some of you are the only ones who experience poverty in their life, lack of anything in their life, fear, scarcity, whatever it may be. No, there are tons of people who overcame those things. Why? Because they made themselves a priority. They made their education and their self-development a priority. They didn't put themselves on the back burner. They knew that if they didn't change, nothing was going to change. And they wanted change bad enough to say, you know what? It's time for me to take my life more serious. It's time for me to take my family more serious. It's time for me to finally relearn and recorrect the things that are not serving me, that never served me, and do the things that's right. So every thought you think is sending electrical charges across your brain, your neural networks, your neurological system, the neural pathways that fire and wire. Do you understand what I'm saying? That includes everything that you are associating with, everything that you do. You have an association for. You have an association in a relationship to money. You have an association in a relationship with love, to how you dance, how you sing, how you give and receive, how you speak, right? How you dance, how you move, how you brush your teeth. Just that's a lot of associations, right? However, when you hone in and focus on the primary ones that you need to focus on, okay, you begin to have more clarity. Okay, your messages in your brain starts to change, right? You start to understand that in order for you to break certain cycles, that you need more information, baby. So can somebody tell me in the comment section, according to what your perspective is, what emotions is at its core? What do you think emotions are at its core? Type it in the comment section. Yes, Queen Lee, so true. Type it in the comment section what you think emotions is according to what you've learned so far. And remember, there's no unrighteous judgment here. We are all learning. We are all on this journey together. Okay, this is you putting in the work. I don't just ask you to put certain things in the comment section just to put things in the comment section. This is all serving your higher purpose. Trust me when I say that. Everything that I ask you to do, I do on the back end. I don't just teach it, I embody it. Okay? So, what do you think emotions are? What's your perspective about emotions? Because this is important, because there's a difference. A lot of us know how to articulate what we think or may know what emotions really are. However, when it comes to actually applying what these things truly are, I can tell that many of us don't really have a deeper understanding because of the receipts of our reality. Feelings, Ashe, okay, that is a big part of it. Great answer, Queen Lynn. Chopper, how are you, my love? That is a great answer, okay? So you hear a lot of people talking about emotional IQ, and you don't have emotional IQ, and you don't know how to regulate your emotions. Understand that there are so many people who talking about emotions who really can't spell it in the quantum realm. Let's say that again. There are a lot of people who are misguided that are speaking and teaching about emotions who cannot even spell what emotions is in a quantum realm, in a metaphysical language and accuracy. Okay. So why is this important? As I stated in the beginning, you cannot change what you do not understand. That's first and foremost. You cannot change what you do not understand. It's just like taking your car to a mechanic and you asking for oil change, and he don't even know where the oil is in the car. He don't even know where it's located. It's like going to an eye doctor and saying, I need my eyes checked because I think my vision is getting a little blurry, and he starts working on your feet. You cannot change what you do not understand. And you definitely can't learn to change if you're listening to people who also don't understand. That's a fundamental principle, right? And I know a lot of people are led astray and easily bamboozled and unrighteously manipulated because they themselves don't understand. So the minute somebody says something that sounds sassy, that sounds charismatic, that puts a little oomph in what they say, because the individual on the receiving end don't really know what it is, of course it's going to sound good, but it doesn't make it true. For me, my emotions are based off my experiences where I am at the moment. That's a really good answer, Chopper. They are response to how you feel inside. Ashe. Feeling and emotions are definitely connected. Ashe. Nikki, how are you, my love? Okay. So let's break this down, right? Let's break this down. Your emotions are the electrical charges. Remember what I said previously. Your supercomputer, your thoughts are the electrical signals, which makes them the electrical charge. So your emotions are the electrical charge. They are the transmitters, okay? Your emotions is what forms all the memories that were captured from your past. So when I say a lot of us are addicted to have emotional addictions, one of the addictions are trauma. A lot of us are addicted to trauma because we are addicted to the emotion that was captured via the memory of the trauma. So a lot of us keep reliving and not really understanding that that's what's happening. Okay. So a lot of us are addicted to the trauma, which is in turn is the addiction to the emotion that is connected to the trauma. Everything you've experienced has an emotional signature, which means it has a conceptual thought that created the emotion. In motion. Okay? Your emotions are 90% of your past. And when if your past was filled with trauma, anxiety, mental distortion, personality distortion or disassociation, when your past was filled with poverty and lack and scarcity and fear, okay, Your body holds the memory of those things. And so in turn, what's happening is the more you relive that past trauma, the more that chemical gets released in your body, the more you become addicted to that emotion, which keeps you living in your past, not creating the future that you actually want to create. So you ever ask yourself, damn, I know I want to change. I know I'm doing certain things to change. Why isn't things changing? This is the core reason why. Because your current electrical charges, which is your thoughts, are all majority predicated upon the past. And until you break those unhealthy emotions, you're not going to receive more money. You're not going to get to experience all of the abundance of joy and bliss and everything that you want to, because you're too busy repeating the same trauma, repeating the same conversations, engaging in the same conversations, doing the same things you were doing yesterday. So what you're indirectly doing is what? Feeding what you no longer want to grow. Ashe? So when I talk about transmitters as it relates to your thoughts, as it relates to the signals you're continually sending into the universe in order for it to mirror back to you exactly what you're transmitting to it, those are your chemical messengers. Those are the chemical messengers that your body cannot function without. Your transmitters are and only have the duty of carrying the chemical signals, which is the message from neuron to neuron, which is from cell to cell, from thought to thought. Okay? So not only do your thoughts create your behaviors, your thoughts create your feelings create your emotion creates your actions, influences your actions, and your actions creates your results. So this is why a lot of us stay addicted to the most unhealthy situations, the most unhealthy people, places, and things, because you don't really understand what they are. So how do things become memories? Every thought you think is the electrical signal across your brain's neurons. In simpler terms, every time you repeat a negative thought, every time you repeat a negative story, whether you know it or not, because your dominant mental database that is dictating all of your thoughts and all of your behaviors lies in the subconscious, where it isn't easily accessible. You just can't dive into your subconscious like you dive into a pool and think you're going to get to the core of reprogramming the thought, especially when you don't even know what to look for. It's like looking for a needle in a haystack. This is why you need to invest in yourself and a mentor that can help you. Okay, Tafan. I bet it sounds good you saying that, huh? How are you, love? Right? So your neurons talk to each other. Your thoughts talk to each other. And every time you think you're having unhealthy internal dialogue, your thoughts is like tagging the other thoughts in. One thought leads to the second thought, and he go get his homies, and he go get his cousins, and he go get his sisters, and next thing you know, they having a whole negative party in your head, right? Increasing the adrenaline, increasing the cortisol, increasing your stress hormones, right? Which is causing the addictions, which is why a lot of us have problems breaking them. Okay, we're going to discuss how you break them. Okay, we're going to discuss how you break them. The stronger the wiring, the more likely you are to repeat the same experiences. Okay, know that all your memories are predicated are due to your past. Okay, and we need to understand this. Okay. So when I talk about, let me fix this puzzle. When I talk about neurons and when I talk about your emotions, you cannot understand emotions if you don't understand the chemical, the chemical makeup. So if you don't understand transmitters, what transmitters actually do, right? And what they actually are, as they are essential messengers that allow your brain and your body to function. Where do you think they get pharmaceuticals from? All of the drugs from. All of those you naturally make in your body. This is the phenomenon of your body, of your makeup. Your body has everything it needs from within to heal itself. Your body also has everything it needs to make itself sick. Why? Because what? Your thoughts, your transmitters, your neural network is within your body, and how you are controlling it, how you are responding to it is going to dictate whether dopamine is constantly being released in your body, which is linked to your motivation, pleasure, and reward, or whether serotonin is going to be released in your body, predicated upon, which regulates, pardon me, your mood, your appetite, right? Your motherly, nurturing self, your ability to nurture, okay, which regulates your sleep, which regulates your appetite, right? Glutamate, which helps you learn, right? This is where the capacity of your ability to learn bring into formation, your thoughts into formation, okay? Your neurological system, okay? This is where your adrenaline is regulated. Without neurotransmitter, your brain cannot send signals and it cannot receive signals, meaning no thought, no emotion, no memory, no movement. You cease to exist. All of these things are you, a part of you, and it is needed, just like your soul needs your body to inhabit in order to experience this life on this realm, to expand, not to continually shrink. Richard, how are you? Victoria, how are you, my love? Right? So every repeated thought that you have either feeds an emotional addiction or it starves the emotional addiction. You get to choose what it is, but you cannot change something you do not recognize, and you damn sure can't change it if you're unwilling to accept it. So over time, all of these stored records, right, of the past, which are predicated from the past, your emotions, your memories, they all form your identity. And your identity is what's shaping your reality. What do you mean, Venus? My identity is shaping my reality. Your current identity is the reason why you are experiencing a lack of money, a lack of discipline, a lack of consistency, a lack of financial stability, a lack of security, a lack of clarity. This is the reason why. Okay, so if you don't understand that, how can you change it? So when we talk about now bringing the emotion and the addiction part together, when you have an emotional addiction, your body is dependent on a certain chemical response, and all chemical responses isn't healthy, isn't safe. Many of us are addicted to adrenaline, which is fight or flight. That's your survival instinct. And so how can you ever create the life that you desire? How can you get into alignment with money? How can you get into alignment with romantic love, pure love? How can you get into alignment with higher states of consciousness? How can you get into alignment with more experiences and opportunities? How can you get into alignment with anything that you desire to experience if you are constantly dysregulated, if your nervous system is dysregulated, not in harmony, if your mental system is dysregulated, not in harmony, if your brain and your body is constantly incoherent, you are not going to get to the bag, get to the love, get to the experience, get to the retirement. Okay, put a 1 in the comment section if you with me so far, if you understand what we're saying so far. I need y'all to understand this. Okay, only if you truly want to change. Now, if you don't really want to change, that's okay too, because you cannot unhear what I'm saying. So eventually, my hope is that you will continue to feed it. Okay, I see the ones coming up. I see the ones. I see the ones. I see the ones. You're the one. Okay, all right. Let's get this on. All right, so let's bridge. Let's bridge the gap. Okay. So the emotional addiction, right? Just like cortisol, okay? Cortisol is released in your body, okay? And that's when your body is in a state of fight or flight when you stress. So a lot of y'all are being chased by imaginary bears and wolves and sheep, and they're nowhere to be found. But since you're so addicted to the emotion of cortisol, you keep putting yourself, unknowingly or knowingly, putting yourself in those states where you are in fight or flight, where you constantly have to fight to survive. You constantly have to fight to breathe. You constantly have to fight to be understood or understood. You constantly have to fight for your place in life, or your place on a job, or your place in a company. You constantly have to fight to be seen, to be heard. You constantly have to, it's always a fight. It's always a struggle. And I understand that a lot of us was taught that way. Oh, you gotta fight, you gotta fight, you gotta fight. You gotta work, you gotta work, you gotta work, you gotta struggle, you gotta struggle, you gotta hustle, you gotta hustle. All of those keep your body in fight or flight. So if you have a dysregulated nervous system and a dysregulated mental system, that causes your mind and your body to constantly be in an incoherent state, which is why you're still experiencing lack of money, lack of love, lack of clarity, lack of experience and opportunities. I need y'all to understand this. So in turn, what that looks like is, because you're so addicted to it unknowingly, you automatically are looking for drama. You're automatically looking for experiences that's going to get you all hyped up and riled up. You're automatically looking for the toxic lives where they fussing and cussing and destroying each other and emasculating and defeminizing each other. You're constantly going and searching for situations that are chaotic. Why? Because you're addicted to cortisol. You're addicted to that emotional emotional chemical. Peace, Sha. How are you, my love? Sha, how are you, my love? That's what it looks like. So this is why some of us keep running to these toxic lives, social media lives. This is why a lot of us keep running and engaging with toxic people, because your body is in that fight or flight. You need to feel roused up. You need that adrenaline. This is why just walking down the street isn't comfortable for some of us. You got to be walking on the fucking ledge. This is why some of us literally will choose to walk on the ledge 100 feet up, then keep your ass on the ground where you're actually the safest for walking. That's an emotional addiction. So when you do not understand the core of what the emotion is, which is a transmitter, which is a chemical signature, putting you in certain states of consciousness, how are you going to change it? You can't if you don't understand it. If you still think emotions means hatred, feeling hateful, if you still think emotions means feeling love, if you still think emotions is being happy or being sad, then you're mistaken. Your feelings is a byproduct of the emotion, of the chemical that's being released in your body. So stop listening to people tell you need to have emotional IQ. Baby, spell it for me. Spell it. You don't know what you're talking about. I say, and it is time out for us not knowing the facts, because the facts is not only in you, they're made available to you. However, it's your choice to get them. I say tell the truth, facts. I say chopper, it's up to you. So we don't even understand why we're stuck on always having problems. So many people are complaining. You know what? I'm in a mood today. I have an attitude today. This person pissed me off. That person pissed me off. Why? Because you are addicted to the chemical that is causing you to feel depressed. It is a lack of serotonin. Because the chemical serotonin, which is the emotional signature, is linked to you feeling sad, you feeling depressed, you just bitching and moaning and complaining. That's a lack of the chemical release. So there's an imbalance. And whenever there's an imbalance, things go haywire. So no wonder why you have to go searching for topics to talk about that's going to keep you complaining. It's going to keep you in that perpetual unhealthy loop. That's what addiction is. You need what you need so bad that if you don't have it, you're going to lose your ever-loving mind. If you don't get to engage in toxic conversations, you all over the place. If you don't get to argue with somebody, you're all over the place. You just lose yourself. If you're not cursing somebody out, if you're not expressing your gripes and your complaints, you're going to lose it. Why are you going to lose it? Why are you losing it? Do you ever ask yourself that question? Why you keep repeating the same unhealthy stories? I mean, everybody know your traumas. The world knows that you were abused. Though, and please don't get it twisted. I'm not saying this I'm not saying to make what you've been through irrelevant. What I'm saying is after 10 years, you still talking about how you was traumatized and abused and not taken seriously and taken advantage of. 10 years later, let that shit go, baby. Let it go. 10 years later, you still talking about the systems that was only designed to cause you destruction. 10 years later, you still being a parakeet, you still telling people to respect you. 10 years later, you still telling people to love you. 10 years later, you still telling yourself that how you belong and what you're great at and who you are. 10 years later, you're still telling the same damn stories. No wonder why you can't get out your past. That's an addiction, my love. So the next time you call somebody a crackhead, I want you to think real hard on calling somebody else what you yourself in turn is. A lot of us are dope heads. And I don't mean dope as the narcotic. I mean dope as dopamine heads. Because when you're experiencing those things, the chemical of dopamine is being released in your body. And if it's imbalanced, it causes you to experience more of those things. Yes, let it go and move on. You still talking about what he did, what she did, what your mama did, what the system did. You still come on, let it go. Your actions are the byproduct of the emotional addiction. I need y'all to understand that. And when you understand infinite gratitude, chopper, if you understand what emotional addictions are, what emotions are, what addictions are, then if you move from understanding it to now fully accepting it, you can begin to change it. You can't go to where you can't fix something that you haven't accepted is broken. Okay? And you damn sure can't fix it talking about, hi, I'm Joe Schmo and I'm a AAA. I've always thought that was the most foolish thing. This AAA, AAA Anonymous, or whatever it is, the AAA group, where they have the people stand up and curse themselves every single time they visit that circle. Hi, I'm Janessa, and I'm an alcoholic, and I'm a baby. No, oh my goodness, let me move on. Let me move on. Please stop doing that. Please stop that, my loves. Stop saying, oh, I'm unhealthy. This. Stop putting those spells on yourself. Stop saying, and I'm not saying if you are an alcoholic, I'm not saying don't acknowledge that you are, but what I'm saying is stop feeding that chemical release in your body. And you feed things by also speaking them. Ashe? So be mindful of what you're speaking over yourself. Remember, the body and the mind doesn't and isn't able to differentiate from what's reality and from what's imaginary. So when I teach you all this in the Creating Your Desired Reality Master Program, this is where we get into the neuroscience, mental reprogramming, and neurological reprogramming. Okay? When you start to reprogram those old dominant programs that lies in your subconscious, or which is the cause of everything you are continually being at this point, you begin to starve them. I say, Tiana, how are you, my love? So I want you to don't be oblivious to it, but stop speaking those spells over your life. Stop saying those things. Start being more aware and cognizant of what you're saying. Stop thinking it's always a joke. It's not a joke. Your body isn't a fucking comedy theater. Your body isn't the audience. It's not always funny when even you joke about these things, because your body is always listening. Your body is conscious, just like the water is conscious in your body and in the world. Your cells are conscious. They're constantly listening for your every command. Blissful rise, my love. Thank you so much, Tiana. How are you? right? So every time, and don't think don't think that your body is only listening to what you're verbally saying. Your body also listens to what you're saying non-verbally. Because remember, your body, your consciousness never shuts off. It's always on. It's not a light switch you can flick on and flick off whenever you want to. I see you, pumpkin, right? And so y'all have to understand this. So the core meaning of emotion is not just what you feel. It's a multi-layered response system that involves your mind, body, and your energy, along with other things, your spoken word, which is sound, which is frequency. Renee, how are you, my love? Ashe, on the physiological aspect, it begins with you interpreting how you respond to external stimuli, what you see, what you taste, what you touch, what you smell, what you hear. However, when you're only relying on external stimulus that is triggering your chemical responses, the release of your chemical responses, you never end up changing them because you can only do that internally. Your external stimuli and how you relate to them is externally. Your external is because of your external is happening because of what's happening internally. It's not external, internal, it's internal, external. Everything that is happening externally is first happening internally. So every time you decide not to learn what you need to learn, i.e., connecting yourself with a qualified mentor that can teach you, every time you ignore sitting with yourself with the proper techniques that's required for you to go inwardly, every time you choose to ignore your self-development, your education, every time you choose to repeat the same patterns over and over, every time you continually do these things, you are fast tracking your self-destruction. You are fast tracking your illnesses. You are fast tracking your disease. You are fast tracking your way down into the deepest parts of your lower nature. And you do not even realize it. Why do we have to? That's a rhetorical question. I'm going to retract that. You don't have to get to the point where you're infinite gratitude, Tiana. You don't have to get to the point where you're completely stressed out, where you're completely broken and broke. You don't have to get to the point where you're completely ready to give in and give up. You don't have to get there. You don't have to reprogram when you're unhappy. You can reprogram when you're happy. I would choose the latter. You don't have to choose to elevate when you're in despair. You don't have to choose to evolve when you're in despair. You don't have to choose to put yourself into alignment and learn the things you're supposed to when you are in despair. It actually works better when you are at your highest, when you are happiest, when you are most joyful. Why do you always have to hit rock bottom in order for you to wake up? In order for you to realize that, you know what, I need to do some things a little bit different. You know what, I need to sit myself down for a minute. You know what, I need to take a break. You know what, I finally need to accept that I cannot do it by myself. When you get to a point where you finally are ready to stop abusing yourself. Peace, love. I'm not even going to try to pronounce your name. I just did. Welcome in. I'm Iman Talk. Right? Do y'all understand what I'm saying? One of the most challenging things for people, infinite gratitude, Tiana. Thank you, my love. One of the most challenging things for people to do is to not repeat the same behaviors they did yesterday. That keeps you on that repetitive loop. That keeps you feeding, knowingly or unknowingly, these unhealthy addictions. Okay? So once you understand that, once you start learning how to properly give meaning to these emotions and how your body responds to the chemical changes that are releasing the hormones into your neurological system, right? That is the cause. Infinite gratitude, Big Chef. That is the cause for your transmitters. That is the cause for the adrenaline and the dopamine and the cortisol being released in your body and the serotonin. Okay. Excuse me. You can begin to shift your heart rate. You can begin to regulate your nervous system. I don't know what people been telling you, but you can't step into your power. You cannot manifest anything that you actually want if you do not understand your neurological stability and regulation. If your nervous system isn't regulated, you're going to continue to create chaos. That means chaos is going to continue to come to you, because dysregulation breeds chaos. Dysregulation breeds confusion. Dysregulation breeds unclarity. I'm even to the point I'm careful of the company I keep and whom I do business with, as you should. It matters. It matters. Your emotions influence how you act. Your emotions influence how you act. So in short, an emotion is your body's chemical and energetic reaction to the meaning that your mind gives it. And it is how you name the stimulus, the external stimuli. Okay? I need y'all to understand this. I really do. It is absolutely imperative. Ashe, I had to tell myself enough. Yes, enough is enough. How long do you want to continually be in poverty? How long do you want to continually be impoverished? How long do you want to continually not do the things that brings you happiness? How long do you want to continue to work for somebody? How long do you want to be aggravated by your boss or your coworkers or your employees even, or whatever it is? How long do you want to suffer? Right? And I know along the line, a lot of us have convinced ourselves that we're absolutely comfortable, and you're not. You're not. Okay? I was attempting to explain this to my brother. He's very hard-headed. One of my brothers, completely hard-headed. And he's like, "What you up to today?" I said, "I'm preparing for my lesson this rising, this evening, Venus. I go through your book over and over." Ashe, yeah, Ashe, okay? Chopper. What's one of the lessons in there? What's one of your favorite lessons in the book? Put that in there while I finish telling this short story. So he was like, "If I was your client, if I came to you for help, what would you tell me?" So I had to step in my professional zone and still come to him like I'm his sister. And so I ended up raising my voice at him. He was like, "Well, you can't be talking to your clients like that." I said, "I don't. I'm talking to you like this because I'm your sister and I know you. I also know what you don't know. I also know what you think you know." And so we had a nice laugh about it. And I was like, you have to come to terms to accept that you're not really happy and you really want more out of life. He's like, "Well, no, I don't really want this or that, but I do want this, and that." I said, "Well, doesn't that mean you actually still want something?" I said, this is why. This is why I'm yelling at you. And this is why I would not ever take you on as a mentee. Okay. I know my limits. Okay. I know who to talk to and who not to talk to. Pumpkin, me and Junior was on the phone today and we had a ball because you know how hard-headed he is. And I'm like, "No, I'm not about to." He said, "Well, you can't be yelling at your clients." I'm like, "I'm not yelling at my clients. I'm yelling at you." Marvelous, how are you, my love? This makes so much sense. Then when people just say change the way you think and the things you say, I love how you dig deep and break these things down. You don't just say you have to change your thoughts. You explain how to change and why you should change. Now I get it, and the change I need to make can start today. Thank you, sis. I love you. Oh, infinite gratitude. Infinite gratitude. Ashe. That's my big sister. That's my biological sister, actually. You talked to him yesterday? Yeah, we all know. He's a beloved brother, but baby, when I tell you he's fucking hard-headed, okay, he is hard-headed, thick-headed, thick skull. Okay, so this is why I teach the way I teach, right? And hearing things like what my sister said and what Chopper says and what I hear a lot of feedback from mentees, a lot that I don't share, a lot that I need to get better. I'm getting better at posting reviews. I really don't post reviews. However, I still get a lot of DMs and private messages saying how much I have helped them overcome their scarcity and their fear and help them understand things a lot better, because you cannot fix what you don't understand. Okay. And if you want better for yourself, like I know you want better for yourself, it's important for you to get some help. Okay. It's nothing wrong with getting the help you need. Okay. So let's bridge the addictions isn't just related to substance abuse, okay? Addictions are really the core of a neurochemical loop that is tied to the brain and body on a repeated pattern, in a repeated pattern, pardon me. Do y'all understand what I said? I'm gonna say it again. Addictions are so much more than substance abuse, right? And I know I know some of y'all will experience cognitive dissonance, because when I learned this, when I started studying this, I was like, what you mean? I'm not addicted to anything. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Like that, because I'm not addicted to all of those narcotics. And so even when I first heard it, I'm like, my cognitive dissonance started kicking in. It's like, that's not what it means. However, in my ignorance, okay, but at the same time, in my ability and my willingness to learn, I understood and started to go deeper into what addictions actually is, as it pertains to why I'm not getting the results that I want. So addictions is more than substance abuse, my loves. Addictions are neurochemical loops that ties the brain and the body, okay, in a repetitive pattern. 99% it is an unhealthy pattern. Page 43 on finding your identity. Chopper, you know what? I was going to teach about identity. See, you see the power of alignment. You see the power, but before I picked the lecture, the master lesson, it was between talking about identity or talking about breaking emotional addictions. So I appreciate that. Infinite gratitude. DRY to win. How are you? Hi, love. So Chopper says, in my book, for those of you who don't know, I'm also a best-selling author. So Chopper said on page 43, and that's the lesson on identity reconstruction, learning who I was and not. Okay, listen, it's important. When you cannot, and I did a post earlier today, you cannot create a new reality with your old identity. And I say, oh, that's because I'm speaking life into you. I want your now reality to be your old identity. I want your now reality to only be tied to your old identity. What do you mean, Venus? I mean, I want your new identity to be the cause of you experiencing all the joy and bliss in your new reality. Why? Because you have a new identity. You're willing to do what it takes so you can create and reform your new identity. And a lot of y'all think that ain't nothing wrong with you, that your identity don't stink. Ouch. Your current identity. Your current identity plays a big part in why you're experiencing all the things that you don't want to experience. So if you think you can keep walking around here, talking the same, being the same, doing the same, you're going to keep getting more of the same. Remember in Monday's lesson, I said, what's on the other side of the door once you walk through it? Is it changing? because you're not changing. So when you're not changing and you're constantly trying to walk through the door to get to your destiny, your new reality, it's going to be more of your old reality, because the creator of that reality, the influencer of that reality, which is you, your identity, your personality, isn't changing. So everything that's on the other side of that door isn't going to be what you want. It's going to be more of what you don't want. Ashe? It's going to be more what you don't want. The mind creates associations. Remember, I said you have an association for everything that you do. Your mind creates associations of, I need to feel this way. I need to feel good. I need to be in control. I need to. Why? But whenever you need something so bad, that is because of an addiction. Okay? I want y'all to understand that. For some, that is a hard question. Who am I? That's why I'm here. One of the lessons in creating your desired reality master training, it goes through your identity, how your identity is created, and it goes through the process of reconstructing your identity. Not only do you have that master program, you have 9 other master lessons in there that helps you with neurological rewiring, mental reprogramming, right? Shifting your perspectives, understanding awareness, mind body awareness. It teaches you about the core of who you are so you can remember who you are. Plus, you get access to me to help you along your way. This is where it starts. You need to start over. Knock down the whole house. Don't keep nothing in it. The metaphoric house, all of your old stuff, all of your old identity. The only thing you need is you and your power, you and your will. That's all you need. Trust me, you can do it. I've done it, and I help countless of women also do it. Okay? Pause for the cause. If you're interested in learning more about the Creating Your Desired Master Program, click that orange Service Plus button and fill out the little form. You don't have to disappear from TikTok. Fill out the little form, and I'll send you your opportunity in your portal to get into the life that you desire. Throw it all out. Be willing to let it go. You cannot hold on to that stuff if you want something better, if you want something new. You have to let it go. And I don't mean go cold turkey. I teach you the healthiest ways, the proven ways to do it. Let go effectively, effortlessly, efficiently, without all the confusion. There are healthy ways to accelerate your process. There are healthy ways to accelerate you experiencing what you need to experience. However, if you're not willing to do the work, you're not going to get there, my loves. It's a requirement. It's not an option. It's a requirement. The body adapts to these chemical spikes, especially dopamine, that's released when you're stressed. Do y'all understand that? It tells your body you want more of that unhealthy fix. This is why. And don't think that only crackheads do this, baby. So you keep slapping your veins because you want a quick fix. Argument. You keep some of y'all slapping your veins because you want a quick fix. Fast money. Some of y'all keep slapping your veins. You want a quick fix. Destruction. Some of y'all slapping y'all veins unknowingly because you just looking for somebody to come into your life and wreak havoc because you got a big come fuck with me sign on your head. Okay? No one else is accountable and responsible for changing your life but you. No one. No one is responsible. You have to do it. The good thing is, the beautiful thing is, you don't have to do it alone. I come before you at least twice a week and teach you some of the most fundamental principles that are proven with my little razzle dazzle, with my little razzle dazzle, that other qualified mentors, teachers that you don't have access to. The only access you have to these people who are qualified to do it is through social media. You are literally ignoring your higher self. Why do you think I showed up? I show up not just because I want to, because of a few things, but one of the main things is you called me. Your higher self, for this point of time in space, in reality that you're in, you chose to tap into this moment in time, in space, actually that transcends space and time, to remind you that it's time to elevate. It's time to throw it all away. It's time to let go. That's not something I'm just telling you that's going to give me kudos. I'm not struggling in a lot of areas in which a lot of people are struggling. And it's not to throw a dig at you. It's to let you further know that I'm qualified to teach you these things, not just by external qualifications, which I have external qualifications, but because this is what I was designed to do. So we agreed to meet in here at this particular time. And every time I come up here and I give you all, the ones who really need these trainings on the next level, like this is surface level. You're going to have to take the next step and invest in yourself and get into the All Things Mastery community. Get the Creating Your Desired Reality Master Program so you can start building a functional, stable home. Metaphorically, you and I both agreed to meet in here at this particular time so I can remind you of what you need, and you can continue to remind me of why I'm still here, why I'm still doing what I need to do. We all have missions, not a mission. We all have missions. What are you doing to fulfill yours? What are you doing to fulfill yours? Ashe? This journey of mastery, I'll be here. This journey of mastery requires your will and your effort. You have to know that you have to invest in yourself. Ashe, you must know that. You must know that there must be an exchange. Now, what you exchange, that depends on the person. Me, because I operate in the highest states of consciousness, I exchange value, I exchange worth, and I exchange righteousness, inspiration, transformation, and motivation. Ashe, I live this. I don't just talk about it. I don't just teach it. I live it. Okay, I embody it so much where I don't need external books. If I was to close my presentation, I can still give you these jewels without it. I've written books about what I teach. When I tell you I'm in my purpose, I'm in my purpose, and that's how I want you to be. You don't have to be struggling for money. You don't have to rely on other people to do certain things, even though it's good if you have supported people in your life, because life experiences that is determined by you will put you in certain situations in order for you to develop closer bonds with one another. However, we should not be on a rotation of poverty. We shouldn't be on a rotation of lack. We should not be on a rotation of discomfort. We should not be in a rotation of suffering all the time or majority of the time. You wasn't purposed to come here in all your magnificence or your glory to suffer or to be nobody's slave. You don't have to work 20, 30, 40 years at no job. You don't have to keep hustling backwards. You don't have to keep slaving. You don't. Infinite gratitude. You don't have to. You don't. Please, I hope you receive that. You do not have to have 4 and 5 jobs. You do not have to tolerate anybody's bullshit. You don't even have to tolerate your bullshit. You do not have to operate and live in your lower nature 90% of your days here. Oh, infinite gratitude, infinite gratitude, infinite gratitude. You don't. That wasn't your purpose. You don't have to be unhealthy. You don't have to, don't you know your body have the ability, the same chemicals that is causing y'all a lot of stress, you also have chemicals in your body that can repair your body, that can repair broken bones, that can repair broken hearts, that can repair unhealthy cells. Your body has the ability to transform itself if it's in the proper environment to do so. What do I mean by environment? I mean a healthy environment for your neurological system, for your organs, for your red blood cells, your white blood cells, your gray matter, your white matter, for all of your organs. I'm talking about your mental environment. It does not have to be filled with chaos. It do not. However, if you're not willing to accept it and own it, guess what? Ain't nothing gonna change. There's nothing that's going to change. 10 things. I'm going to give you 10 things. Infinite gratitude, my loves. I'm going to give you 10 things that most of us are addicted to, knowingly or unknowingly. Social media, cell phones. Every time you are on social media, every time you are on your cell phone, and I'm now, not to say that the reason is irrelevant, I'm giving you the facts of what's happening to you neurologically and chemically on a biological molecular level. Whenever you're spending time on social media, or i.e. your phone, understand that everything is energy and everything is frequency, and whatever is being exchanged via social media, via the phone, is a constant dopamine hit that we get addicted to. Some of us are waking up to our phones looking for 1,000 likes from yesterday's post. Tell me I'm not telling the truth, and I'll tell you a lie. Tell me I'm not telling the truth, and I'll tell you a lie. And this is not to dig at you. This is not to insult you. This is giving you the undesirable truth, because I've done it at times. My phone's sitting right there, and the first thing I do, that I say, oh, I'm just gonna see who's online. And yes, I'm transparent. For those of you asking, I'm still a self-mastery educator, still phenomenal at what I do, and I'm still being transparently honest, telling you the truth. Yes, that was once me before I understood how much it was destroying my essence. How many likes did I get today? Where am I at? And did I get accepted into the program? Oh my God, why did they say that? Oh, I can't wait to clap back. And you already rehearsing things that you're going to say. You already checking your email. You haven't even washed your mouth yet. You haven't even put your feet on the ground yet. You haven't even gave gratitude for the air that is in your lungs yet. You haven't even gave gratitude that you are here. You talking about what emails I got to send, who responded, who commented, what, all the nerve of them. You on the phone with people talking about God knows what, you know what, right? Before you even get out of bed, you always talking about, wake up with me. Wake up with me. Spend the day with me. This is how I wake up. I woke up like this. Hey, I woke up like this. Okay? Spend a whole day with me. Come in my bathroom with me. Brush my teeth with me. Put on my makeup with me. Do my hair with me. Dress with me. Sing with me. All days with everybody else but yourself. Every day, all day, everybody else. That's called an addiction, my love. And how can you break the addiction if you're not willing to accept that it's unhealthy, or that it is an addiction in the first place? Whenever you do that, it's because your mind and your body not your mind, your body has become addicted to the dopamine hits that you get whenever you see your like count went up, whenever you see a post that you put, whenever you see the dopamine, it's like boom, another shot, boom, another shot, boom, another shot, and to the point where you start, can I get another like? Can somebody give me another like? I need 100 more likes. I need 100 more flowers. I need 100 more roses. I need 100 more. I need TikTok to recognize me. I need to post more. I need to post more. I need to post at 10 o'clock. I need to post at 3 o'clock, 11 o'clock. It's like hits. You constantly getting shut up with dopamine. Why? Because your body now is so addicted to where if you don't look at your phone the first thing in the morning, you are spending 2 minutes meditating, talking about, okay, I'm good. 2 minutes? Damn. You in the shower just hurry, you just fixing, you're hurrying, you're rushing because you can't get to your damn phone fast enough. You can't get to social media enough. You can't get to the comment section enough. You can't get to your analysis enough. You can't get to talking to that person on the phone that's going to validate your stupidity enough. That's going to validate your addictions enough. That's going to keep shit. Y'all both on the phone just like damn. So you know what he said yesterday? You know what that mom that had the nerve to do? You know what he did to me? Let me tell you what he had the nerve to. Let me tell you what my boss did. Let me tell you what my sister did or my brother did. Let me tell you what that girl, 5 minutes ain't even go by yet. You brushing your teeth talking about every minute. Addiction. Top 10. Stress. Your body gets chemically hooked to the adrenaline, to the cortisol. So even if a bear and a tiger isn't chasing you, you're still running for your life. Even though nothing is behind you, Freddy Krueger ain't behind you, okay? Jason ain't behind you. Ain't nobody behind you. Sandman, Color Man, Candyman. Ain't nobody behind you chasing you. Yet you are running for dear life without breathing cortisol, which people unconsciously create chaos and urgency because their nervous system need it. Your nervous system needs to argue with someone. Your nervous system has to find fault in someone. Your nervous system has to reject something. Your nervous system needs the dysfunction and the chaos. So what you keep finding things that's going to feed that. That's an addiction. You keep finding things that's going to stress you out. So you go in a whole life and it's all positive, and we say, okay, so what happened to you today? Tell me something you're grateful for. Well, I'm feeling the type of way. That's not the topic of discussion. I didn't ask you how you feeling, why you feeling the type of way, or even to hear it. How about you express what you're grateful for? How about you express that you able to speak and talk? How about you actually express that you're alive? How about you actually express gratitude that you are healthy enough to move your limbs and your legs and your arms? How about you express gratitude for you being able to have a chatterbox that can boast about or complain about the hell that you think you in? How about you give gratitude? But the first thing you do is want to complain and find other people to join in your complaint party, your pity party. Why? Because your body has become so used to cortisol that you unknowingly know that you are unknowingly drawn to whatever is going to feed it. And some of you aren't better. Some of you aren't better because y'all feed it. Y'all help to feed it. I know, girl. I know, child. I know that's right. Girl, I told you should have left him. He is a dog. I told you should have left her. I told you don't die. I told you don't die. I told you. I'm telling you, you right. And I don't know why they don't with them people. I don't know why Donald Duck or Daffy Duck did that. I don't know why Peter Pan flew his ass all the way over there to another country, knowing that somebody over here needs some magic. I don't know why Mickey and Minnie over there at their house, and they know I asked them to come visit me. You worrying about the wrong shit. You're worrying about the wrong things. Peace, Christina. How are you, my love? You hear me? TikTok will definitely remind you. Right? Negative thinking. That's the next one. Negative thinking. ruminating on the problems of the world, ruminating on the problems that you have, that people have, that it's the rumination of problems. Everything, majority of the things, I won't say everything, majority of the things has to be problematic, because that gives your brain a sense of control, even though it feels painful. And over time, those loops of worry, those loops of problems, those loops of those you repeating them becomes addictive. Super Moo, how are you, my love? It becomes addictive. So you can't even have a healthy conversation without you finding something or somebody to complain about. And then you are associated with a whole bunch of people like you. So all y'all doing is all y'all doing is helping one another self-destruct. That's just the truth. All y'all doing is helping one another to self-destruct. Because you can also, now I'm talking about situations, you can also be addicted to people. You can also be addicted to people. Why? Because people also gives you the experiences that you're craving. Okay? All right. How many of you have ever did something and you had a girlfriend or a boyfriend or a guy friend or whatever, and they just cheering you on, right? I know I used to dance back in the days, right? So I used to dance for Little Vicious. I did shows with Patra back in the days, Beanie Man, Capleton. I was in a reggae world, right? I did a show once with Lauryn Hill and the Fugees. So I was a dancer back then. And I cannot express to you how encouraging and motivating it was when I heard people shouting my name whenever I was on the stage or whenever I was performing, because the whole project came out, right? Especially when we did videos that was in Brooklyn, right? So I used to, like, that pumps you up, that gets you going. Whenever someone is celebrating you for whatever reason, that gets you going, that gets you pumping. Hi, beautiful sunshine, how are you, right? It's the same thing with an addiction, whether you know it or not. So why do people flock together that fly together? And why do people that fly together flock together? Is because they're giving you exactly what you need. And most of the time, it is feeding your addictions. And because that's your bro, because that's your sis, because that's your mama, because that's your daddy, because that's your husband, or because that's your wife, because that's your children, you feel the need to put yourself on the back burner because of the attachment. I'm just telling you the facts. I'm just giving you the truth. Is it going to feel good all the time? Absolutely not. So now if someone comes with a problem, my thing is, what's the solution? Okay, there we go. There we go. As a matter of fact, I am actually willing to hear the problem, because I do personal mentoring and personal coaching. I want you to tell me what the issue is. What I don't need is the whole story. Don't tell me the whole story. I don't want you traveling back down there, because I know psychologically what that do. And I always respectfully make it known to my mentees. This is how this session is going to go. And this is why I operate like this. This is why I do my mentorship like this. Once they understand that, they give me the details. All I need is the details. I don't need the whole story. I don't need the story. Give me the details, and I'm going to give a solution to you, a proven solution that's going to work. But I don't want to hear the rest of it. Go tell somebody else that want to lower their frequency, not me. Right? I need more understanding about the people addiction. If you do a lesson about that, please text me. It's the same, pumpkin, but sis, you can call me and we can talk to it. Talk to it. Yeah, that too. We can talk to it and we can talk. We can talk. We can talk. We can talk about that. But people can be addictions too, right? People can be an addiction too. I know I was addicted to people who used to treat me bad. That's what that after the first trashy boyfriend that I had, I was unknowingly feeding that addiction. I just got to a point where I'm like, okay, this must be healthy. Until it wasn't, right? That's how it is for a lot of us, right? Another addiction that we have, majority of us have, approval and validation of the praise, attention, external recognition to feel worthy. Nothing outside of you should give you validation. You are, let me tell y'all something. You are already validated. If you knew how powerful you really were, if you knew the power that you actually have, if you knew the authority that you actually have, if you knew what runs in your DNA, if you knew who your mother's was, if you knew the connection that you have to the womb of the universe, especially my divine, beautiful souls, my women, if you only remembered who you was, you would never seek validation from no one or nothing. Now, it's not that you, infinite gratitude, Big Chef. Now, it's not that you should not be grateful if others are praising you and giving you your flowers, right? Because, hey, if you earned it, you earned that. You earned that. That is yours, and you should accept it with a full heart. But I'm speaking more of people who are constantly looking from validation from external people, places, or things in order to validate their worth, their sense of self-worth. And that should not be. That's another form of addiction. Okay? External recognition to feel worthy. Just like these social media relationships that reinforce the addictions. Oh, because they follow me and this person follow me or that person follow me, I'm validated. Like I'm in the money. I'm in the money. I'm in there. You in that circle. You in the wrong fucking circle. Okay? You in the wrong fucking circle. You in the wrong circle. Another addiction, work, business. Workaholism, all the isms, staying overly busy to avoid stillness. That's an addiction. I'm going to say it again, staying overly busy to avoid stillness. You cannot create anything. You cannot manifest anything. You cannot materialize anything, which means the transformation of matter into materialization. Experiences, not only tangible things, but experiences are also the materialization of matter, the transformation of matter into material, into experiencing. You can't do none of that. When I say can't, I mean can't. You can't do none of that if you are not still. I know a lot of people who cannot sit 2, 5, 10, 60 minutes with themselves, let alone an hour to regulate not only their nervous system, but to go deep within to change the dominant mental programs that is keeping them addicted to unhealthy behavior patterns, keeping them addicted to and attached to unhealthy people. It's in the stillness where you create. Chaos only creates chaos. I need y'all to understand that. And a lot of you don't even know your nervous system is chaotic right now. A lot of you don't know your mental database, your supercomputer is firing and wiring all over the damn place. Okay? Your neurons is doing fucking playing Sonic the Hedgehog in your fucking body and in your mind. Running rampant all through. It's not still. How many of us are taking the time know that is within the stillness? Creating what your desired experience is, you need stillness. You also need to understand mind, body, breath techniques. And those are the things that you learn, and those are some of the things that you will learn in All Things Mastery Infinity Circle. Ashe? Here I teach you the deeper reasons of what it is to gain a deeper understanding and comprehension, and I'll even share a couple of tips and tricks and tools. However, there's only a few that would take the next step and be willing to do the work, that will show up and show up for them. Ashe, now that's an addiction that I'm working on. Ashe, we are working on something. I've been unemployed for 3 weeks now, and my bedroom looks like an office because I haven't handled my. Oh, I get it. Well, you on your way to correcting that, right? Workaholics. We keep ourselves busy in order to in order to escape sitting with ourselves. And I know reasons why. I'm not going to go through them, but I know reasons why. Hi, sweetheart. How you doing, honey? How you feeling? It's good to see you. Another unhealthy addiction. We already spoke about that. So drama and conflict. Some people stay entangled in toxic relationships, platonic or romantic, because the emotional highs and lows, right? Make up to break up. That's all we do. First you love me, then you hate me. That's a game for fools. That's wild. I mean, at what point do you say, you know what? That's healthy. Okay. I know the makeup SEX for a lot of y'all is great. But you don't need there's other ways where you can hype yourself up. There's other ways where you can cause some healthy static so you can have that type of static. Okay? There's healthier ways to do it. You don't have to be arguing and fussing and fighting because it's that much greater. I know plenty of ways. Trust me, I know plenty of ways to get that same excitement in a healthier way. And I'm sure you do too. We're just so addicted to the drama and conflict. Ashe? We're not even going to talk about the foods and the substances and the caffeine and the processed foods and the chemicals and all of that stuff, right? Shopping, spending, okay, entertainment, escapism. I need to get away. I need to get away. I got always running from yourself, always running from doing the work, always running from the truth. So you binge watch shows, you binge watch people, you binge watch you binge engage in so many different things, all to keep you facing the very same person you need to face. Painful emotions. We run from guilt. We run from it. We don't process it. Ashe? You have to get to the point where you're processing. Seven primary reasons why emotional addictions are challenging for some. Why emotional addictions are challenging. Why it's hard for many to change. Because it is stored in the body and that you've been feeding it knowingly or unknowingly for years. Chemical addictions. Ashe? Yes, 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 yes. Repetitive neural loops. We keep doing the same things over and over and over again, expecting different results, especially when you don't even realize you are in an unhealthy loop or you are in an unhealthy cycle of unhealthy behavior patterns, right? And I take you through this. A lot of these lessons, what I'm teaching you is in All Things Mastery Infinity Circle. It is also in Creating Your Desired Reality training. It is 9, well, actually it's 10 lessons in there, recorded lessons. So you hear me teaching you about reprogramming, neurological rewiring, talking about identity reconstruction. You also get the visuals to go with it. Profound professional visuals, okay? And you get to go at your own pace. These are the proven fundamental blocks that you need to be laid in your new home in order for you to manifest what and who you desire. There is no skipping steps. Okay? So stop thinking that you can go from here to there, and you haven't even stepped foot on the ground yet. It doesn't even work like that. Okay? Peace, Faith, how are you? Environmental triggers. Okay, somebody swerved the wrong way on the road, and you just lost your ever-loving mind. Somebody say something, or a building is not the right color, and you lost your mind. Someone served food in a particular way, you done lost your mind. Somebody talk a certain way, you done lost your mind. A company is operating in a certain way, you done lost your mind. Identity attachments, right? Many people unconsciously tie their identity to emotions, anxiousness, fight or flight, suffering, poverty. So letting go feels like you're losing something. Okay? Lack of mastery. One of the reasons, that's probably one of the most profound reasons we're not changing. Peace, Spirit. How are you, my love? Spirit angel. Right? Lack of mastery. And I know you hear a lot of people talking about mastery. Some people know what they're talking about, but a lot of people don't. Trust you me. Sovereignty is mastery. However, mastery isn't something that you say. It's something that you embody. And you cannot embody something you do not understand. And a lot of you don't even embody your divine essence because you don't even understand you. Because you still think your identity is linked to what you do and not who you are. Not inherently, not who you became, who you inherently are. As a divine soul, as a divine spirit, as pure consciousness, raw power, magnetic, electric. It's electric. It's electric. So how do you expect to create anything new if you don't understand the fundamentals of any of those things? That is number 0 in creating your desired reality master program. I give you the 5 bodies of who you are. You need to understand that before you can do anything. Why do you want to keep repeating the same lessons over and over and over again? Why do you think you could just skip to the loo up to the 10th floor and you ain't even visit the first floor yet? You still on level 1, but you want to fucking skip steps until you get to level 10. It don't work that way. You may get to level 10, but baby, that fall back down is gonna be that's gonna be a hard one. Okay, so let's Buttercup. That's a cute name. How are you, Buttercup? So let me give you. Oops. Hold on a second. Hold on, TikTok. Infinite gratitude. Thank you so much, my YT family, my T-Witch family, and my FB family for joining me. Join me every Monday and Wednesday, rising 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, to talk all things mastery. So you can do what? Create the life that you not only love, but you desire, and you definitely deserve. But you have to know you deserve it, and you have to do what it requires to get it. Ashe?